morning. Yeah, it's a Monday morning, and we have a new week ahead of us. And I'm glad again to be able to share with you this week and just some insights that I feel God's gonna help you with, and that is an understanding of the finished work of the cross of Calvary. Yeah, that is what we're going to be talking about this week. And so I trust again that you'll just open up your heart to receive that what the Lord has in store for us. So yeah, you are with George at Growth Point, growing as you are going through life. And today we're going to speak about it is finished. Now, how many times have you heard these last words Jesus spoke before his death on the cross? It is finished. Now, I wonder how many of us fully understood these words that Jesus spoke as he bowed his head and he spoke his last and he surrendered his spirit over to the Lord. I wonder how many of us really fully understood what Jesus Christ did. I guess not too many really understand the full meaning of those three words, it is finished, that Jesus spoke. Now, if only one could understand and embrace these three simple words, it is finished, I think life on its own would be absolutely different to that what we are experiencing today. If man fully understood these last three words that Jesus spoke, our world as we know it would look very differently to what we are today experiencing. Because again, many people are walking around not fully understanding who Jesus Christ is and what he did for humanity at the cross of Calvary. Again, God stepped out of heaven to earth. That is what he did. He came to this earth again to reconcile man back to himself. Can you imagine this? The creator of all things that we experience left heaven behind, stepped out of heaven to earth, again to be among men. He was born into this world through a woman. So he experienced everything that man experienced. He became a man so he could rescue man. Think of that for a moment. That only God could do this. No one else could do it but him and him alone. And that is why when he hung upon that cross, we know that he spoke out these words, it is finished. It is a done work. Now, by Jesus saying these three simple words, it is finished, Jesus was saying to the Jewish world that there were no more need for sacrifice or temples, because his work brought ultimate fulfillment to what their sacrificial symbols foreshadowed. So again, that by sacrificing, this is what they did. They took animals and they sacrificed it to God. Blood was shed. Why? To cover them, just like God showed them right in the beginning of time. Remember that story where God took an animal and he slayed it, he cut its throat in front of them. First time they experienced death, the death of an animal, that what they loved, that what they looked after, that what they took care of. And this is exactly what God was showing to them. This what would man do to his son one day when he came to earth and he walked among men, that men would put him on a cross, men would crucify him, but he had to do that to shed his blood again to cover their sin, because animal sin, well, not animal sin, but animals' blood could only cover their sin for a period of time. This is why they constantly sacrificed animals again, not to just remind them of what God is going to do down the road, but again to remind them that the only way that their sin could be forgiven is through a death of an animal, the blood of an animal. But Jesus would become a man, and his death and his blood would set humanity free. You see, he was to be the final sacrificial lamb that would take away the sin of all nations, not just the Jewish nations, but all nations. Notice this, all nations. We must understand that Jesus did not say, I am finished. He said, it is finished. These three words did not come from the lips of a defeated man that was condemned to death, but from a man that had fought a battle to produce life, eternal life, and he gave you and I that life. Now, for you to obtain life, to obtain eternal life, a life hereafter, we have to again come to that cross and accept that what Jesus Christ did on our behalf, because there is nothing more that we can do to obtain salvation. Jesus did it all for us. All we have to do is invite him into our lives, accept again the finished work of the cross of Calvary, and note it is a completed work, nothing more that we can do to obtain salvation. He did it all for you and I.